Thank you for joining us at Cheap, Easy, and Tasty Meals. Today we're going to make a simple, no-knead focaccia bread. I'm going to prepare the recipe two ways. One just to show you how the bread is made, and the second to use the bread as a pizza base. To start, add 2 cups of all-purpose flour to a large mixing bowl. Then add 3/4 of a cup plus 2 tablespoons of room temperature water to the bowl. Use a spatula to stir the water and flour together. You're trying to get as much of the flour coated by the water as possible. When you reach the point where you really can't get any more mixing with the spatula, go ahead and put it aside and use your hand to kind of squeeze the water and flour together. All you're trying to do is get the water and flour mixed as much as you can. Then we're going to set it aside for 1 to 2 hours and let them work together. And what will happen is they'll begin to form the gluten bonds. After the flour and water mixture is rested for a couple of hours, add a 1/4 teaspoon of Instant Yeast and a couple tablespoons of olive oil. Then use your hand to squeeze the dough, pinching it together to try and mix the yeast and oil together. This is not kneading, this is still mixing. After about a minute, add 1 tablespoon of kosher salt to the dough and continue mixing for another 1 to 2 minutes to make sure all the ingredients are together. Take an 8x8 pan and put about a tablespoon of olive oil in it, spread it around, and then dump your dough into the pan. Spread it as best you can evenly, covering the base of the pan, and get it to all 4 sides. You may find that the dough is too difficult to work with. If so, cover it and set it aside for about 30 minutes. And then come back and it'll be a lot easier to work with, and you can continue spreading it to make it fit the pan. Use your fingers to make sure there are dimples all over the dough. Cover the pan with plastic wrap and put it in the refrigerator for between 1 and 3 days. The longer it stays in, the better the flavor will develop. When you're ready to bake the bread, pull it out, add another tablespoon or 2 of olive oil, and then spread your ingredients on top of the dough. I'm using rosemary and garlic. Sprinkle a teaspoon of salt across the top of the bread before you bake it. Bake in a 450-degree Fahrenheit oven for 18 to 23 minutes until golden brown, like this. Let the bread cool and then cut it into pieces and serve it as is or with additional olive oil to dip in. This is basic focaccia bread. Now I'm going to take the same recipe, prepare it, and cook it for about 18 minutes, and then add toppings to it and make a pizza. The only difference between this bread and the first recipe I made is that I did not put rosemary on it. I did put garlic on the top of the pizza crust. Now I'm going to add pizza sauce. I'm going to add some basil, some cheese, and some pepperoni, and I'm going to bake it for another 8 to 10 minutes. If you like thick crust pizza or pizzas that have a little more character in the crust, this is a great choice. I think you can tell I like it because there are already pizzas missing before I took a picture of it after I got it out of the oven. I hope you'll try it, and I hope you'll enjoy it.